Back when survival games were taking over everybody's lives, and by everyone I mean me, Stranded Deep came out, but I never had a PC to play it as a kid. I always wanted to dive into this game and explore what it had to offer, so being the 25-year-old I am now, I decided to platinum it, since, well, now I have adult money. I have a PS5. Full disclaimer, this game is totally meant to be played on a computer, and I'd advise you do that because this is the most utter trash gaming experience I have ever experienced on a console. But I need this sweet, sweet platinum, so here I am, putting myself into misery because this platinum, while not difficult, was the most annoying platinum I've ever done. Okay, I've only done 3 platinums, but that's not the point. Stranded Deep has 36 trophies, including the platinum. This includes a lot of crafting, exploring, and completing the main story, which I didn't even think it had. To make this more annoying than normal, I did play this on permadeath mode on hard difficulty, which I don't even know if it really makes the game harder, but it definitely makes it more annoying, with crops taking a full day more to grow, and you being more thirsty than usual, among other things. Apparently this is supposed to take me 30 hours, but yeah, no, it took me way more than 30 hours to complete, like a lot more. I also won't be generating new islands and will just be relying on whatever seed the game gives me. So without further ado, we start up a new save where we're chilling on what looks like a private jet, possibly on a business trip. What can I say? I probably do drop shipping or some shit like that. Of course, we won't be getting to our destination as out of nowhere, the plane just completely loses its left phalange and we're going down quick, and ultimately we crash. But of course we live because if we didn't, well, there wouldn't be any gameplay. So we magically survive, don't panic at all, know exactly where to swim, and up we go to the surface where the game cuts to us, well, without the life raft. Why do we not have a life raft? Well, because I'm on hard mode, and that doesn't spawn the lifeboat with the rations. Even more annoying. Let me run you through the basics of this game. Collect food, cook food, make a still for water, add leaves to still to produce water, drink said water, and rinse repeat to not die of thirst or hunger. That's basically the gist of how to survive in this game. Again, hard mode doesn't make this necessarily difficult, just more annoying as we're more thirsty. By the way, I just want to point out, I hate the sounds in this game. Sure, the beach sounds are great, that is until a shark is near the shore, and I'm just thinking that somehow it's gonna come onto land and eat me. If you have a fear of the ocean, I'd advise you not to play this game, and I didn't think I did until I played this game. Anyways, our first trophy comes pretty quick, as all we need to do is make a stone tool with a rock to pop it. Back to the Stone Age. This is our starter island, and basically you can grab coconuts to drink from and eat, but eventually you will run out of resources on this island, meaning your only option is to travel to another. And every island usually has shipwrecks or even just little boats with containers on them that have goodies in them for you to survive. One easy trophy I get early on is the Seagull trophy, which just pops as soon as some seagulls fly above us. Now keep in mind that before this, I had played this game maybe once, and I didn't really get very far, so my knowledge of this game is basically at 0 for the time being. Being that I know absolutely nothing about this game, you can imagine even little things like tiny crabs nibbling on my toes scared the absolute shit out of me. I was paranoid I was bleeding or poisoned from just those things. The main trophies I want to do first is survive 10 days on one island, not sleep on land for 10 days, not eat fish for 10 days, and not eat a single thing of meat for 10 whole days. Now what do all these have in common? Well, they all have to be done within 10 days. And so I had the bright idea that I would try to do all of them at the exact same time, which is where this becomes even more annoying than it normally would be. Surviving on only what's on your first island is very hard, especially when you can't eat any type of meat, meaning I'd have to survive off rations and coconuts alone, as well as trying to plant fruit, but planting fruit and expanding takes a long time, especially in hard mode since crops take an extra day to grow, and there's no guarantee the seed will spawn fruits on the starter island. Regardless, I still attempted to stack all these trophies. So beginning on this island, we gather some sticks and harvest the yucca fruits. Yucca drops fibrous leaves which can be used for the still to produce water, but can also be used to make lashings, which is essentially rope to put things together, such as rocks and sticks to make tools. 3 will spawn on each island, and 6 leaves will be on each yucca plant, giving us a total of 18. And these will take a whole 3 days to grow back. You can also find more from hitting the small palms on the floor, and these also take 3 days to respawn. The first day, I just try to get used to the game's controls, get some coconuts, and craft some tools. And I tell you, by the end of this platinum, I was so done hearing this hopeless music. I was close to ending it all right here. Like I said, coconuts you can drink, then smash up to eat them, but you can't eat too many of them or you'll get diarrhea, which I was very cautious about, as that will make you more thirsty. Now, there is a tutorial part of this game which we do need to complete for a trophy, and part of this is killing a crab and cooking it, but I don't want to eat it or it'll void my no meat trophy. So anyways, once I skin it with my refined knife, we get 1 day when the boss gets hungry. We also have a watch that basically never runs out of battery. It might be solar powered, but I forget. But this will tell us different stats like how much hunger or thirst we have, show us our skills, and any effects we might have going on, such as poison. Soon enough, it's morning once more, and I finally make a shelter, which goddamn, it took me like a whole day just to make a shelter. If I restart right now, I could make that thing in 5 minutes. No wonder it took me longer than 30 hours to complete this. I'm a freaking turtle. Around the same time, the tutorial trophy pops for just putting the crab on the fire, and soon after it's done cooking, we get another trophy for that. 5 trophies, and it hasn't even been a day. At this rate, I'll be done by day 30. I wish I could have been done by day 30. Later in the morning, I check out a shipwreck close to shore and find some beans inside a crate, which is huge. That is, it would be huge if this was my endgame world. Spoilers, I didn't last very long on the seed. You can see I'm already dehydrated to the point of passing out, and me not knowing that the sun is giving me a heat stroke is making me more thirsty and killing me. All I needed to do was cool off, and eventually, I did die. I did start a new save, however, this was on the same seed, and basically this next save, I'm a woman, because it's 2024. Anything can happen, I guess. And this whole time, by the way, I wasn't saving at the tent. Wait, I don't have to sleep? I could have just saved the game? I was paranoid to freaking save because I thought it was going to make me sleep as well. Aw, man. And this second time around, I was kind of getting used to the game. Kind of. Oh, you bitch. You fucking cunt. But I was getting better and faster crafting things, and these first couple of attempts were just me getting set up for the real 10-day stay on the island. I needed to be prepared, and this is what that was. I learned a bunch of things, such as planting. I need a fucking hoe. I need a hoe, I need a hoe, I need a hoe, I need a hoe. Somebody fucking find me a hoe. I'll pay anything for a hoe. Which is going to be crucial for only eating plants for 10 days. Right here is fine. Well, now what? Plant yucca? Nice! One of the main troubles was I didn't have enough resources on the first island to survive for the 10 days. But like I said, I wasn't going to use the custom islands, and I was on hard mode, so I couldn't just raft over to another island to bring materials back, as well, a raft didn't spawn, and making one would be way too costly. And I also wanted the base to be on the first island as well, since it's easier to navigate, and this was important, as there's actually a trophy for completing the game without ever using a compass. And you'd think this wouldn't really be an issue, but it's pretty easy to get lost out at sea. It literally all starts to look the same when you're out there. Also, keep in mind, I was scared as fuck to go out in the ocean. I didn't necessarily want to swim to another island, not knowing if a shark was just going to eat me. Anyways, this attempt ended with me running out of rocks and food, and I decided maybe it's time to restart again. Can I kill myself? What a throw. Oh my god. What a throw. Was I a football player? Must have been a football player before I went missing. I did kind of want to see how long it took me to starve to death, and it felt like a really long time. Alright, round 5, or whatever attempt it was. I can't believe I'm putting my character through this again. If he didn't have trauma from the first couple of times, he definitely has it now. It's been many attempts at this point, learning the game, and this seed, for some reason, I decided to swim to another island despite my fear of a shark tickling my toes, but I did it. I think I wanted to see how safe it would be to swim to an island at night, as I think sharks are less active at night, but that could totally just be something that I made up to make myself feel better. The delusion, I know. No shark actually attacked me though, and you get a trophy for visiting your first island hopper. And this is where I encountered my first enemy, this big crab, and you can just see how slow a 3 sensitivity is on a controller. I would have 360 no-scoped him if I was on keyboard. Either way, I whacked him once and kept on my day. Again, this was just kind of like a test world, if you will, so I knew I'd be restarting, but yeah, we got another trophy for crafting 20 tools. And for that trophy, it could have literally been 20 of the exact same tool, and it would have popped. These guys at the beginning were so hard to hit. God, I was horrible. Ultimately, the death here was me being poisoned the whole time, and I couldn't actually make an antidote. First example of this game being very buggy. I just clipped it to the ground. What a horrible death. With all that preparation, and dying of course, can't forget dying, I knew what I had to do. Ladies and gents, this is the seed. The seed that would take me all the way. Starting off, I wasted no time at all and swam to another island, and this time a shark did come into my vicinity. And he did in fact tickle me. This is a hammerhead, and there's different types of sharks, and I don't think I encountered them all. But yeah, he nibbled me a lot. I think he's gone. Never mind. Somehow I made it to the shore, and it was probably midday at this point. And when I looked at my watch, we were in bad shape. I had 2 bars of health, and I had sunstroke. I don't want the smoke, Mr. Krabs. Not today. Oddly enough, even with all the preparation I did, there were still things I didn't know. I think I'm bleeding. My health is going down slowly. If I just looked at my watch, I would know that I was bleeding. You idiot. The fuck are you talking about you think you're bleeding? You got bit 3 times by a shark. You shouldn't even be walking. It's crazy how I was actually close to starting over again, and keep in mind, when you don't know what you're doing, this game can go very slow. So at this point, I probably had 10 hours on the game and did not want to start over again. I did find some crates with cloth in them, so I was able to make bandages, and from there we just start getting ourselves more healthy by drinking up and eating up. Now the reason I came to another island was to gather resources, put them in the containers, and bring them back to the main island to make surviving the 10 days just a tad more doable. Now I could have just did all these 10-day trophies when I was set up in late game, separately, but I wanted to make this as annoying as possible for whatever reason. The main concern was how was I going to get back home? I didn't have enough lashings to make a raft, so my only option was... Oh, I'm pushing my luck here. Go back to my cozy little island where there's no big crabs to eat me. We're not gonna make this, man. Can I check my watch? Oh, man. 1 bite and we're dead, bro. No, there's a shark! No, we're dead. Don't do it. Don't do it. I think we're in the clear. I think we're in the clear. Oh, my God. Did he just leave me alone? No! No! Okay, I didn't lie though. This was still the same seed as the first one. I just didn't get it on the first attempt. Eventually, this did work, and my island was getting set up. We had a shelter, a water still, and even a farm with some yucca because that needs to be done right away for water. Eventually, I'd run out of palm tree leaves, so fibrous leaves were going to be the only thing holding me for 10 days. These 10 days were the longest and the most brutal 10 days of the entire thing. And that's because I paired it with the no sleep trophy, which makes us tired. And when you're tired, you can't run. But luckily, there's no enemies here on the starter island, unless you count those little crabs. There was cura fruit on this island, which is great, but in order to farm this stuff, we need to make farm plots, which takes lashings, which take fibrous leaves, which we need for water. So you can see the issue. We need to prioritize water since we have limited resources, which means we need to prioritize farming more yucca before anything else. Another thing is not only do we need to drink water, but my yucca needs to drink water, so that limits us even more. I think one of the most annoyingest things early on was having coconut flasks to transport water between the still and plots, as they only hold 4 spaces of water. And like I mentioned, when you're tired, you walk very slowly. So I was ripping my hair out. You can craft a leather bottle, but that of course requires leather, and I didn't know about clay in the moment, which holds 5 servings of water. But even that requires a bunch of other shit. One thing I figured out was plank farm plots don't even require lashings to make, and I had some around, so I made another plot, and this will hold more water than the regular ones. On like day 2, I was kind of already starving, but I did get lucky getting beans, so I ate one, and from there I just kept getting more water and then planting my cura fruit. I did run into an issue where I ran out of rocks and I couldn't make any more stone tools, and in order to farm the yucca, the thing that's keeping me alive, I need some type of stone tool. So I searched everywhere. I thought I was done for. I thought I was gonna have to restart again until... Oh my God, that's a fucking rock. That's a rock.
It's a rock.
Oh my God, it's a second rock. With that, we were back on track and I had a full-on stack of fibrous leaves. Progress was finally being made. This is until, well, I ultimately started running out of coconut seed, and I had to eat the beans I had left. I realized at this point, I might have to forfeit the meat trophy and cook a crab. And it's funny, I actually found more fruit on the ground like on day 3, and I could have planted those. Either way, I don't think it would have made a difference thanks to hard mode making these crops take an extremely long time to grow. Up the cura fruit? Potatoes?! Those were not there. Doesn't even matter though, I'm dead. I have to eat crabs. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I have to fucking eat crab. At this point, I was at 0 hunger bars, and I needed to make a decision to forfeit the meat trophy. So literally, scared out of my mind, about to die, I cooked a crab, and thankfully, I didn't kill over. I ate my crab meat and went about my 5th day alive. On this day, we finally got rain. It's raining. It's raining. It's finally raining. This should all fill with water. Nice. I believe rain purposely doesn't spawn for a couple of days when you start a new world, and this fills your water stills and farm plots, which is huge as you don't have to waste your own water to fill them up. I also made a smoker which won't make your food spoil, which is pretty important. Yucca also grew back so I could harvest it, but then crabs stopped spawning because I skinned them all. At the time, I thought the game was bugged and crabs just spawn indefinitely, but that would be too easy. Yeah, there's a limited supply of crabs, and they also respawn in a couple days. And what does this mean for us? Well, I ran out of food again, and I have to fish, forfeiting yet again another trophy. But what sucks is I didn't even need to forfeit this trophy. See, I can still keep eating meat, but I couldn't make a bird snare because I had no more rocks, and also at the time I didn't realize how easy it was to farm bats at night for meat. The reason I decided to forfeit the fish trophy was because I didn't think I can get enough seagulls to keep me alive, as these guys will stay on a rock and immediately fly away as soon as you get close, making them a pretty scarce resource if you don't have a bird snare. Also, I made a mistake with the cura fruit. I'm gonna have to forfeit the fish trophy. If I don't eat this cura fruit within the next who knows what, I will 6 days survive. Can you spawn some crabs now, game? I don't think I can put it off much longer. Down the hatch. What? Get to the coconut. Get to the coconut. It was spoiled. It was spoiled. I waited too long. No. This is not how I go out. No, don't jump. Drink it. Stop moving. Okay, that should keep me fed. From here, I started fishing away, and soon enough, my axe was about to break, so I gathered as much palm frond as I could for the still, and harvested my grown yucca with my refined knife. Finally, the yucca is starting to multiply. And speaking of fruit, bro, you're joking. Why are there just potatoes on the floor? These were not here before. I'm gonna go kill them. And speaking of food, can I kill bats for food? We're about to find out. I killed a bat! Oh my god, I killed a bat. I can eat bats. I didn't know I could eat bats. Don't they have diseases? Now's my chance. No. God, I'm so slow. Can you just fucking stop moving? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, somehow I killed it. It was definitely below his head. But as you can see, yep, we could have just killed some seagulls. And apparently bats. Nice rain, bro. This is a thunderstorm, so all of my foundations, except for that one's dead. All my foundations should go up, because this looks like a thunderstorm. These are indeed raging right now. Here we go, here we go. Got him! Got him! This thunderstorm would pretty much take us to day 10 in terms of not having to keep filling up the farm plots with water. I tell you, my aim is getting pretty good for being on less than 30 FPS. On day 10, the crabs respawned, and I realized they were a limited supply. And with day 10 ending, we were about to get some trophies. Seafarer was for not sleeping for 10 days, and day 10 was for just surviving, well, 10 days. However, I didn't realize this until later. The Island Hermit trophy didn't actually pop, which is staying on one island for 10 days straight. And this is because in the beginning, I went off to another island for a day, so it had technically only been 9 days consecutively on the island. And you best believe I was eager to get off the island ASAP. So yeah, the trophy didn't pop right here. Another annoyance in our journey. As well as obviously the Fish Are Friends one and the No Meat one. It's crazy to think that 5 trophies could have popped here, but no, instead just 2. On this second island, I reached 40 tools crafted, and that showed us the trophy. I almost died to a crab while being stuck. That fucking hurt, man. I needed to make a water still here since I was dying of thirst, and when all that was done, I traveled back on my raft. A shitty raft, but it was a raft nonetheless. When you're gone scavenging other islands, the timer doesn't stop on your crops, which is why you want more water in your farm plots, so you can leave for extended periods of time. And when I made it back, some plants were indeed dead. So I was rushing trying to get water to each one of them with this shitty little coconut flask. I also had more plants die because I wasn't careful when sleeping. Luckily, you can still use spoiled potatoes and replant them. A couple of days later, I finally made cloth with a loom I crafted, and this gives us tread carefully. Since it started to rain from the heavens once more, I decided to make more farm plots so that they fill up immediately. And thanks to the loom, I was able to make more water stills. After this, I went to a different island, and every time I went to a new island, I made sure to plop down a campfire, as placing them will get us 2 trophies, one for making 5 campfires on 5 distinct islands, and another for 10. poison. I killed a crab while he was stuck, so I was getting used to these guys' weaknesses. I made sure to gather materials while on this island, and I encountered a shark, snagged some leather from shipwrecks, and went back home. Since we got rocks from that island, I finally made a hobo stove. Only took 13 days. And since I found leather, I was able to craft a refined pick, which now lets us mine stone deposits as well as clay. It's crazy how easier the game becomes when you don't restrict yourself to one single island for 10 days. Who would have fucking known? I did craft a bow, but this weapon is just so useless when spears are just as good. Soon after that, we reach our 20th day alive, and we get a trophy for that. Oddly enough, that's the last trophy for just surviving a certain number of days. I would have loved a 50-day trophy or a 100-day trophy. During day 21, I almost got eaten by a shark, even though I didn't even notice it at first. Food. Okay. Stepped on something. What could I have stepped on? Oh no. Get up! Get up, you idiot!
Hi, how are you?
Get away from me, you fucking monster. Oh, I'm bleeding and poisoned. It's gonna be our bird assassination for late game. To smoke a whole bunch of these birds. Your service is greatly appreciated, birds. Yo, I just chopped that bitch down. That thing is barren. I took every tree with me, bro. And I couldn't even take all the wood. I think it's beginning to thunderstorm. I think I just got home in time. Oh man, those waves were big. I ended up making a plank station, and this would help us expand the farm with plank farm plots instead of the base ones. The farm is coming along great. I decided I needed to go visit one of these bigger islands, and once I got here, I creeped up since there was a hog. These things are brutal, but eventually he did see me from the inside of the trees and decided to attack. He did get stuck though, so I was able to strike him a bunch of times. Take that, you stupid hunk of meat! Since it did drop meat, I needed to make a campfire, which pops our trophy for making 5 campfires on 5 distinct islands. Directly after this, I got poisoned by a snake, so I needed to head back to base. But either way, I needed to head back because I didn't have any cloth for a water still and was running out of H2O. Back home, I was finally able to make a leather rack thanks to the hog that we killed, and this allows us to make, well, leather. And with leather, I could finally max out my tool belt. A couple of days passed and I decided to stop being a pussy and just go searching for clay. I was avoiding it because, well, if you even go a bit offshore, sharks will come. Clay deposits spawn on east sides of islands. Our only problem were the sharks, like I mentioned, but this guy thought it'd be funny to mess with me. With clay, a furnace was underway and I could make a clay flask which pops this trophy. Trying to get more clay, Hammerhead comes to play some more and he was really teasing me this time until he straight up started dragging me and nearly killed me. I was able to make 4 clay flasks though, which gives us enough water for sea trips. So in the end, it was all worth it. And now we just waited for rain so we could make another trip. This time on our newly upgraded raft. Ha! Take that, snake. As long as you just get the jump on these animals, they're pretty easy since they just run away after you hit them like once. This made boars super easy to hunt for their hide, which is the main reason for this trek right now. But the buoy balls were a plus. I did gather a ton of materials as well, and once we were home, we can craft a bunch of leather for our next trophy, the sleeping bag. By making a fishing rod and of course fishing, that gives us fishing season is open, and fishing just 10 of these guys gives us sea harvest. That reminds me, I haven't eaten a fish in a very long time, so while I was away on another island, the fish our friend's trophy popped for not eating fish for 10 whole days. The big hogs are so much scarier and tend to chase more, and this one was no exception. The good news was they don't go into the water and I went on my boat. The bad news is he started doing this. Well, this is one way to travel. Yo, can you stop freaking out? How did you even do that? Man, get your ass! Oh, I really must have played for the NFL or something. You know how heavy that thing must be? With the danger finally gone, I was able to explore this island, which happened to have a survivor remnant on it, and has this volleyball with a face on it, Wally. Finding Wally actually gives us a trophy since we have a friend now, my only friend. And there should be 2 to 3 remnants on each seed, and I say 2 to 3 because I literally couldn't find a straight answer online when looking it up. Anyways, I tried to loot this really big ship since I figured there might be air tanks in there, but a shark was circling me and I hadn't slept in a while and was tired, so I couldn't swim fast. Despite this, I did jump off the plank and decided to book it. I did get bit, but somehow I did make it, making sure to keep an eye on it back to shore. Keep in mind, I did get bit prior to this by the same exact shark and he dragged me pretty far out to sea. From here, I traveled back home and leveled up my craftsmanship once more, and with all the goodies I gathered, I was able to make a spear gun as well as a fuel still. With a fuel still, it was time to make a motor for my raft, and keep in mind, a lot of these days are just spent just going back and forth, whether it's filling up my farm plots, harvesting those farm plots, or just getting food. And that was the majority of what I was doing. And I don't feel it's very entertaining mentioning any of that, so it was probably around day 50 at this point. The good news about the still is you can actually use spoiled potatoes, which I had been gathering to make fuel. Now luckily I had been picking up motor parts since the beginning, so I had everything I needed to make it. Put the engine in engineering. I'm not an engineer, but I did it. At first, I didn't know how to even use the motor. I thought it would just push the raft by itself. I didn't actually know I had to hold forward. And I thought to myself, what's the point of this motor? There's barely a change in speed. This was also the first time I passed one of those boss sites. When I got home, a tiger shark managed to follow me home. And I thought, it's about time I decided to kill one of these things. I can't see where I'm steering this thing. There might be rocks in front of me. Look at that big boy. On my mama, I won't. On my mama. Bitch. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna come to the shop? I doubt it. Huh? You want some of this? You ain't gonna do shit. He's gonna die, bro. He's gonna get what's coming to him. Oh, shit. He's back. I missed. What is that guy doing, bro? You're messing with the big boys. Come on. I want a prize today. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was a tiger shark. I thought I was fighting a great white. I want a prize. Oh my god, I lunged him. Skinning this shark gives us a ton of meat. From there, I started making a shack with a bunch of different materials as I needed to craft every single item in the game. A day later, I set off again to grab this boar, and this is because we need to get 2 of each of the animals and put them on the raft and sail out to a thunderstorm. Now, it's not every single animal in the game, but I have been bringing animals back to the island ever since I made the raft bigger, so I wouldn't have to do all of that later. It is kind of hard bringing them back, but I just made this like sunken little part of the raft to keep them in place so they don't fall off. Especially since thunderstorms aren't super common. We need 2 boars, 2 hogs, 2 snakes, and 2 crabs. But they don't actually have to be the big crabs. They can be the small crabs, and this is actually important. By the way, I ended up seeing a marlin on our way back from getting the hog. A couple of days later, a thunderstorm does begin, and it's time to sail out to sea. So with every single animal on board, we sail out. And this trophy is just supposed to pop, even if you're not super out to sea. But this trophy is so buggy that I had to restart like multiple times because it just was not popping. And because it wasn't popping, the ship eventually ends up tipping over and sinking, and this is because of the weight of the animals. Which is why using 2 little crabs instead of the big ones is crucial to not get the raft to sink. The trophy would be easy if it just wasn't buggy. So yeah, I restarted this a lot of times. Call me cheap, but I wasn't about to lose all the goodies I had on the ship. And the animals were glitching as well. I mean, just look at this guy just shooting up in the air and me noticing like a second later. And I don't know what I did different on the attempt it worked. I swear I did nothing different. Although I guess turning the motor on was what triggered the trophy to pop. 2 of each, motherfuckers! Right after this I fell off too because of the weight of the animals, but I was able to anchor the raft before it floated away, and then I just chucked the animals off. The fuck off my boat! Little food for the sharks. Okay, I failed 2 times on you, you can stay. From here, I sailed back home safely. Our next trophy was for building the gyrocopter, so I set out to more islands in search of one last part I was missing, the engine filter. I don't know if some of these parts are rarer than others, but this one was like really hard to find. Also, I hit this snake once and it just disappeared on me. This game is so buggy. And now I'm currently shitting bricks. On the bright side, I was able to get the filter here on this island, so this trip was actually pretty short. And by the way, there is a trophy for planting all of the fruits on one single island, and one of them is super rare, and I hadn't found it yet. Although I did overlook it on one of the earlier islands, and I figured that out later for a different trophy. Oceanic Da Vinci. And I can't even use this thing because it actually has a compass on it. Now, like I said before, I never got the Island Hermit trophy because I just thought it popped with the others in the beginning. Fortunately, I can do this trophy now and just pair it with the Gone Green trophy, which is to just eat fruit for 10 days. This is where I realized I can use the motor to reverse and hold forward to go faster. Oh man, that is a beautiful sight. While doing some more exploring, I guess I've placed 10 campfires on 10 distinct islands, so we get the trophy for that around day 70. Is that the Fortnite llama? I was pretty confused at first, but I assumed this was our way out of Pacifica. Literally, the island is called a way out, and it indeed was. This is where we complete Stranded Deep's story, fixing this plane and getting the F out of here. But first I have to defeat all 3 bosses for the parts to this plane. While exploring some more, I finally ended up finding that super rare fruit I was just talking about, and I was very close to leaving this island without it because I wasn't even looking for it in the moment. I was just trying to find survivor remnants. Directly after this, I got a little bit lost, almost ran out of gas as well as drinking water out at sea. But eventually I found the Meg, and why is this important, you may ask? Well, because finding the Meg meant I was pretty close to home, so this was able to lead me back home thanks to the cartographer. I just needed to follow where the moon was setting, i.e., I just needed to go west. I was still kind of guessing since I had a picture of the map and didn't label the bosses, but off memory, I was right. Using my binoculars, which I didn't think would come in handy at all, I ended up spotting my gyrocopter, so we were home free. Now we just need to plant the kawawa fruit, and there we go. That took way too long. All that's left were 9 trophies. This has taken me so long, but I'm so close. So let's start with not eating meat for 10 whole days and staying on this godforsaken island for 10 whole days. So I watched my plants grow, ate some fruit, built my terrible constructed, not up to code house, and I was back to eating coconuts. Ugh. The good news was some nights we could just sleep, so that made the time pass by way faster than the first 10 days. And during this, I also stocked up on a ton of fuel since I had a bunch of spoiled potatoes and gas cans. I also decided to make a tower, but I think I made it way too high, so how do I get down? Well, never doing that again. From here, I took the time to make some furniture, which apparently you can't even sit on, and some of this stuff places really weirdly. Now, it was just a matter of time for waiting for the trophies to pop. On day 87, we get Island Hermit, and on day 88, we get Gone Green, and let's just say, I think I might have over-prepped on coconuts. The next trophy I wanted to do was visit all the survivor remnants, and I've already found 2. Or, I thought I did. I swear I thought I found a remnant before finding the one with Wally, but I don't know, man. I've been stranded for 90 days, and I'm losing my mind. It only makes sense that I don't remember. Basically, I headed out with all the fuel I made from the 10 days and went directly south. My map is set up in such a way where the bosses are diagonal to me, and none of them are on the edge, so everything center of me was searched. All I needed to do was go directly south and then all the way around, checking every single island sticking to the border. It took me 2 hours, but eventually I found the last island as soon as I looped all the way around, and it would be the last island I checked. However, this didn't actually pop the trophy, which was weird, so now I gotta check all the islands again to find the first island that I think I found, because clearly I missed it, right? Or did I? And I think Wally was actually the first survivor remnant, so now I'm just thinking that the trophy is straight up bugged once more, like everything else in this game. Before heading back out again, I decided to do this metal furniture trophy, and I thought I was going to have enough scrap metal to make all 10 pieces of furniture, but apparently you can just place the shelves down, destroy them, get all the materials back since I maxed out my harvesting skill, rinse, repeat, and boom, there we go. All that remained were the bosses. Oh, where's this Meg? Hello, sir. Oh, no. Oh, you didn't have to do that. Yo, that was just straight up rude. I'm so terrified right now. Air tank. I should have did air boost. He's almost dead. Leave me alone. Oh, that's so scary. I did it. I did it. He disappeared. He took my fucking things. Why did I decide to do this fucking game? I don't like the ocean. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Where the fuck is he? You want some of this? Huh? Okay, this one's easy, because apparently if you hide under this cannon, he won't attack you. He doesn't freak me out as much as the Meg. There we go. Where'd all the spears go? What? Kind of crazy, right? Guy's stranded on an island. In order to get out, he has to go through a megalodon, huge fucking squid or octopus, and then has to kill a fucking eel. I know it's a game, but what in your right mind would have you think that we need to do this? No, you cunt. So hard to do on controller. Come on, Luska. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, my crate's glitched. Oh, you cunt bag. Get on the boat, you idiot! I need to make these shots count. Last shot. This is my last shot. I need to get it. What? Now my boat. There. Hood. Oh. Oh, I thought I was gonna die there. Oh, I had another. I didn't know I had. I thought I was out of air tanks. Dude, I was at like 2.5. Oh, I thought I was gonna lose it all there. Everything is done. I'll buy a trophy, the Luska trophy. Call me a collect all sea monster trophy. I believe the only thing left to craft is the plank table. That is the only thing that I have left to craft, and I will have crafted every item in Stranded Deep. All right, and gotta craft them all. Okay, food is stocked. 2 jerry cans of fuel. They survived 105. Start this bad baby up. Doesn't this technically count as using a compass? Don't tell me how I know how to fly a plane or engineer any of this, by the way. Oh, there we go. Doesn't even look like it's enough run. I guess it's a small plane. What am I saying? Oh, man. Oh, that... Wow. That is a great... Oh, I thought we were going down there. Home sweet home, baby. We'll be there in approximately... maybe 4 hours. Clear skies, baby. Clear skies. Come on, give me the trophy. Huh? What do you mean 3 hours? What the fuck do you mean 3... No. No, no! No! That's not how that ends. That's not how... Fuck this game. This game could go. So basically you're telling me that my entire adventure was for no... Alright, all things considered, that was actually a great game. Very buggy. I still have one more trophy to do, and I don't know when I'm gonna do it, because I'm annoyed. Alright, I think I'm gonna start a new island, or a couple, who knows, and just try to find these islands. I'm gonna see if I can just find a seed for the trophy, because I'm honestly, like, over this game. This game says on the guide that it should be, like, 50 hours, and yeah. It's been well over 50 hours for me. It'll probably be up to 80 once I get the platinum. I just saw something on the other side. I could be wrong, but I saw something peering out. I think it might be a boat. Yeah, it is. I can't find anywhere for the life of me if there's 2, 3, or who knows how many of these. But here we go. This is another one. Let's just check outside real quick. The same structures as last time. Okay. It's different items, too. I don't think there was 2 lashing. And no trophy pop. Oh my god. Hold on. I'm pretty sure. Is that a structure? For reference, we're right here, which means we've gone around the entire map. This is the 3rd structure. I promise you guys, that there was no 3rd structure on my other island. I promise you. We are about to get the trophy. If it doesn't, oh my god, if it just doesn't. By the way, when I said I didn't want to go over 80 hours, well, I'm pretty much over 80 hours right now. Okay, I just have to... Sorry, dude. Let me just sneak past here. There we go. Another one bites the dust, and the platinum is about to pop. Stay alive. Get me off this game, bro. Get me off this game. Oh my god. On my knees, bro. On my knees begging. Oh my god. I promise you, the first playthrough didn't have it. I looked at every single one. I just did this on passive mode. I don't give a I'm 80 hours in, maybe 81. I'm so done. The platinum is mine. 82 hours. Please subscribe.